Picture this. You've just finished hauling the absolute last heavy box into your beautiful new home. You're completely exhausted, covered in dust, and honestly, all you want in the world is a cold glass of water. You walk over to the kitchen sink, turn the handle, and absolutely nothing. Not a single drop. It's bone dry. It's a total nightmare. And believe it or not, it happens to new property owners and tenants every single day. Setting up utility services from scratch can feel incredibly daunting, especially if it's your first time. But today, we're going to completely demystify this whole process. Welcome to this explainer, where we're giving you the ultimate step-by-step masterclass on how to get your water flowing securely, legally, and without any of those expensive surprises.
But hang on a second. Before you even touch that faucet, let's dive into this. Because the very first mistake people make is actually the most common one. You search Columbus Water Setup online, and you just start dialing the first number that pops up. But wait, which Columbus are you actually in? It sounds super basic, but your property could fall under entirely different legal jurisdictions depending on if you're standing in Ohio, Georgia, or Indiana. Assuming there's only one Columbus is a classic rookie mistake, and it can literally cost you days of administrative delays.
These systems are completely distinct from one another. If you're in Ohio, you're dealing with the Department of Public Utilities. Down in Georgia, that's Columbus Waterworks. And over in Indiana, you're looking for Columbus City Utilities. You absolutely need to route your initial contact to the exact right municipal system. For the bulk of our explainer today, we're going to focus heavily on the complex system in Columbus, Ohio, but we'll definitely point out key differences in Georgia and Indiana along the way so you're fully prepared, no matter where your property lines are actually drawn.
So, here's our game plan for today. We've got 5 parts. 1. Understanding the basics. 2. Steps to initiate water service. 3. Common challenges and solutions. 4. Helpful resources. And 5. Advanced tips for hassle-free setup. Let's jump right in.
Starting with Section 1, Understanding the Basics. To get started, we really need to understand what setting up this essential utility actually entails and what kind of baseline financial commitment we're talking about. Now, pay close attention to this exact number, $12.45. In Columbus, Ohio, this is your base water charge per month. I really want to highlight this because this is the baseline financial commitment required before you use a single drop of water. It's just the cost of having the pipes connected to your house. The actual water you use is billed on top of this volumetrically, which is about $6.11 per 1,000 gallons, along with separate sewer charges. So understanding that you're signing up for baseline infrastructure costs and not just usage is your first step to mastering your utility budget. It really helps you know exactly what to expect on that very first bill.
Section 2. Steps to initiate water service. Now that you know what you're paying for, how do we actually get an account officially on the books?
For Columbus, Ohio, this onboarding sequence primarily happens over the phone. First up, you'll need to call their customer service center at 614-645-8276. When you get them on the line, they're going to do 2 main things. First, they'll verify your property demographics to ensure the address actually has municipal access. And second, which is the most important part, they will secure an initial meter reading. This initial reading is absolutely critical. It essentially draws a definitive line in the sand, guaranteeing you are not accidentally billed for the previous occupant's water usage.
But remember how we talked about those different jurisdictions earlier? If you're setting up service in Columbus, Georgia, a simple phone call just won't cut it. You have to provide solid documentation. They require a valid picture ID, proof of ownership or a lease agreement, and social security numbers for everyone on the lease. And if you're in Columbus, Indiana, they take it a step further. They require a mandatory in-person visit to their office on McClure Road to sign a physical customer service agreement. So always know your specific jurisdiction's hurdles.
Moving right along to Section 3, Common Challenges and Solutions. Onboarding is honestly only half the battle. Now we enter the dodging traps phase, because bureaucratic blind spots can cost property owners and tenants dearly.
Look, if you're renting or leasing property in Columbus, Ohio, this next part is a massive quirk you absolutely need to understand. Unlike a lot of cities out there, the Columbus Department of Public Utilities does not collect or hold security deposits to mitigate the risk of a tenant defaulting on their bill. Instead, they use a clever workaround called the Tenant Direct Billing Agreement. It's a binding legal document that both the landlord and the tenant have to sign. Once it's signed, it allows the water bill to go straight to the tenant. But here is where this becomes a very real-world risk for landlords. Unpaid balances are handled very differently depending on the specific service. If a tenant skips town without paying their water bill, the city will physically shut off the service, and the landlord is stuck paying the arrears plus a reconnection fee. That's annoying for sure. But unpaid sewer balances, those literally cannot be shut off.
Instead, they are certified directly to the county auditor and become an actual real estate tax lien on the property itself. This creates what's known as trilateral liability, which basically means the property owner is never fully absolved of the financial risk. You, as the owner, are legally acting as the ultimate guarantor. This is exactly why the owner gets duplicate copies of all monthly bills and any shutoff warnings in the mail. And here's the real kicker. If an account goes delinquent, the city will block any future tenants from setting up direct billing at that address until the landlord pays off the balance in full. It's a very strict system, so staying on top of those duplicate bills is absolutely essential. Okay, Section 4, Helpful Resources. I know all of that sounded a bit intimidating, but don't worry, there are several great lifelines available to help you navigate the system. Sometimes you just hit an administrative wall over the phone or online and you really need to talk to a human, face to face. If you're in Ohio, you can head right down to 11 North Front Street. They even have free short-term parking in the garage across Long Street, which is a fantastic little insider perk when you're just rushing in to drop off paperwork. If you're down in Georgia, you'll go to 1421 Veterans Parkway. And in Indiana, head on over to 1111 McClure Road.
Beyond the physical offices, there are some incredible digital safety nets too. Columbus, Ohio offers the Level 1 digital portal for super easy online payments. And if you're ever struggling with costs, they have specific low-income and senior discount programs, as well as official payment arrangements to help break down any delinquencies into manageable chunks. Oh, and here's a really cool fact. If you're looking to set up an urban farm, they actually have a dedicated pathway just for getting water to community gardens. You just need the parcel ID, a certified address, and the owner's permission.
Finally, we've reached Section 5, Advanced Tips for Hassle-Free Setup. Now it's time to unlock Pro Mode. Let's look at some advanced tips derived straight from the utility regulations to give you a massive strategic advantage.
If you only take away one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. If you are buying a house in Columbus, Ohio, you must check the DPU portal for unpaid sewer charges before you close on the property. If the previous owner had a delinquent sewer bill and you buy the house without verifying it, you instantly inherit that debt. It literally becomes your problem. Do not skip this step during your real estate transaction. It could save you thousands.
Next up, when you're reporting your meter readings, especially for that tenant agreement we talked about, you have to obtain a synchronized single-day reading of both the inside meter and the outside remote register. That outside register is usually a little 3x4.5-inch blue and black box right on the exterior wall. And here is a massive practical tip, which is strongly advised by Columbus Waterworks in Georgia. Before the city turns your water on, ensure every single indoor faucet, washing machine hookup, and refrigerator ice maker is turned to the off position. If they turn the water on at the street and your sinks are wide open, you will flood your brand new home. And trust me, the utility company is not liable for that damage. As with all bureaucratic processes, we just have to deliver a quick professional disclaimer here. Local regulations, utility rates, and administrative fees are constantly subject to change. While we've pulled all this directly from the most current official source documentation, you should always double-check the city's official website for the very latest updates before signing any contracts or writing any checks.
And there you have it. You now know exactly how to identify your proper jurisdiction, navigate the initiation steps, dodge those hidden real estate liens, and protect your home from accidental flooding during setup. You definitely aren't a novice anymore. You are fully equipped to master the Columbus utility landscape. So the only question left to ask yourself before you pick up the phone and make that call is, are your utility defenses fully prepared? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.